Welcome to Fireside Giants. My name is Alex, my co-host Anthony Rivardo. We are here breaking down the Carter Coughlin film that you guys requested on Twitter. I posted, who do you want to see? You know, the one player that you want to see. I will gather all the film from the game, week 13 against the Seattle Seahawks, and you guys voted Carter Coughlin. So here we are, and I must say, super impressed with him. Remember, he's a rookie. So he's coming in here as a new player in a very, very intricate and detailed scheme and making an impact very early. And what I've noticed, and Anthony will tell you this too, is that he's very, very good against these mobile quarterbacks. He played a lot of spy, contain, sealing the edge, and really just keeping Russell Wilson in the pocket. And when he gets flushed out, really containing him and making sure he doesn't pick up yardage with his legs. He was in on a lot of third downs, and he got a lot of reps, especially in the second half too. But Anthony, my friend, how are you doing? And what are you thinking about Carter Coughlin before we dive into this film?
I'm doing great. A little sleepy, but very excited to break down this film and very excited, for the Giants in general. If you haven't checked out our film review that we did with Brian Walker, the man who trains Jabril Peppers, Darnell Holmes, and many other professionals, make sure you go check that out right now, and then come back to this video or watch it after this video, whatever. Dude, you have to watch that video. It was excellent. Brian was great, and you'll learn a lot from that. But anyway, I am excited to get into this Carter Coughlin film. This is actually going to be my second time on this channel breaking down Carter Coughlin film. Many of our long-term viewers probably remember because that video got a lot of views when I did the breakdown on both Carter Coughlin and Cam Brown in one video. That was a lot of fun to do because it was really interesting to see that the Giants really found what looked like two gems in the later rounds of the draft. And Cam Brown, while he hasn't gotten as much playing time as Carter Coughlin, he has played a little bit, and he's looked pretty good when he's on the field. But, I always thought with him, he is going to need a lot of time to grow into a defined role. But with Carter Coughlin, one thing that I noticed back when I did that film review then is that guy really shouldn't have fallen to the 7th round. He is a great pass rusher, like a refined pass rusher. He has very good speed and bend around the edge, and he has good hand fighting. Like, he knows how to win one-on-one blocks against an offensive tackle. The only problem is he's very small, right? Carter Coughlin is very undersized, and that's why going into the draft, no one knew what to do with him. Was he going to be able to play edge, or was he going to have to move to inside linebacker? Now, the Giants have done something really special. Alex and I were talking about this before we started recording. What the Giants have done is they've kind of done both with Carter Coughlin. They've had him play edge, but they've also had him play inside linebacker, and they're really moving him around in this Kyle Van Noy role. If you remember Kyle Van Noy from New England, he's now on the Miami Dolphins. When he was with New England, Belichick schemed him to play really all over the defense. He was an edge. He was a defensive end. He was an inside linebacker. He was an outside linebacker. He played all over that defense, and his main goal was really just to be like this pass rusher, this QB spy. Really, his role was no defined role, and that's the key there with Carter Coughlin that we're going to see once we look at this film. He is just asked to do a job each play, and he just has to execute, and he does. And that's what makes him so good right now as a rookie, especially when you think about that he is so raw, and he's not as refined as a veteran, right? So once he grows next year, the year after, and he starts to put on a little more muscle, and he has the strength to beat some of these bigger offensive tackles, because he's got the speed to do it for sure, but doesn't have the strength. So once he gets that strength and he, figures out a few more technical things, he could be a pretty great player. Like, he could be that Kyle Van Noy for this Giants defense. This is a very Belichickian scheme. Patrick Graham, Joe Judge coming from New England. It's a very Belichickian scheme. So this role that Carter Coughlin is playing is very Kyle Van Noy. That's what it reminds me of. And, I don't think Kyle Van Noy was a very high draft pick either. I think he was a late round pick. So, this is a guy that you develop into that role. You just have him continue to play this role. And then eventually he's going to be a specialist. He's going to specialize in this role, and he's going to be a staple on that Giants defense if he continues to progress the way that he has.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, Carter Coughlin can be that Kyle Van Noy type of factor for the Giants, and you'll see him line up in a various different techniques in this film. We're just kind of run through and narrate all of his snaps, and there's some that I'll stop and we'll go back and rewatch just to get an idea of what he did. Some better clips from him. But you'll see him line up over the center in the 0 technique. You'll see him in the 1 technique on the shaded left or right of the center, and you'll see him on the 5 technique outside of the tackles. He does a lot of different things, and he spies a lot. You'll see him bull rush a ton In this film breakdown, you'll see his primary move is going to be his bull rush. And the reason for that is he's not actually trying to get to Russell Wilson all the time. He's just trying to lock up one of the offensive linemen, whether it be the guard or the tackle. He wants to lock them up and then contain. So he's basically bull rushing them, stopping, and then he's going to wait for Russell Wilson to get flushed out by those big interior defenders. And once he goes left or right, he's going to break free. He's going to disengage, and he's going to run out to either side to make sure that Russell Wilson doesn't break free. And this is completely schemed, by the way. Patrick Graham looks like an absolute genius. You'll see plays where he'll line up in the zero tech over the center, and they'll have a cornerback or a safety on the line of scrimmage. They'll have Leonard Williams in the 3 technique, and they'll be doing various different meshes and combinations to really confuse Russell Wilson, because this entire game was about confusing Russell Wilson and making sure he can't figure out this defense. In the second half, you'll see in this film, and also the film we did with Brian, that Russell started to figure it out after a while. He started to kind of understand what they were trying to do. And what he should have done, and this is something I realized, was when he saw Carter Coughlin lining up in the zero technique over the center, he should have audibled to a halfback draw, because every time he did that, he was acting as a spy. Or it was a fake stunt, and basically they were just flushing the big guys through the middle to try and take out multiple offensive linemen. They should have been doing halfback draws there, because Carter Coughlin isn't the biggest guy. You have a good opportunity to run against him. So I think that's where they kind of lacked. They didn't establish the run very well, and they tried to throw the ball. And when we saw with James Bradbury, he did a phenomenal job bottling up DK Metcalf. Darnay Holmes shut down Tyler Lockett. They really just settled for out routes the entire game. So it was pretty phenomenal what the Giants did. But I want to dive into this film and really see, what Carter Coughlin was doing. It's about 6 minutes of film, and we're going to go through it pretty quickly and just narrate along the way what we're seeing. Bottom left of the line, right outside the tackle. He actually drops into coverage here in this slot area.
It looks like he's playing slot cornerback.
He's spying. Yep, he's actually spying on that right side to make sure they can contain. But look at this. What I really like about Carter Coughlin on this play is that he starts on the left side of this line. He's spying here. He's waiting to see if this is going to the left side, to the weak side. And what he does is he follows this play. This is the kind of effort you want to see from your defenders. He ends up all the way on the right hash. That just shows you he is supposed to be, just spying, but he ends up all the way on the other side. That just shows the effort this Giants team is being taught right now, the stamina they've built up, and really the just discipline they have to get after the ball. And here you're going to see on the left side.
He's actually playing outside linebacker in the 3-4 defensive scheme, not slot cornerback, but he's lining up, as a weak side linebacker here, and that's just. You're going to see him line up there. You're going to see him line up in a lot of different places in this film, basically.
Yep, and he just chases him down. This is a good run by Chris Carson. So this is the play, actually. Jabril Peppers gets his brain rattled a little bit here. Watch this. They go head-to-head, and he gets nailed. Jabril Peppers gets nailed, but he remembers this play. He remembers this play, and later on, he gets this big sack, and you'll see Carter Coughlin has a big influence on that sack. Here, another. See, look at the combination here, though. You have Leonard Williams basically in the zero technique over the center. You have Xavier McKinney at the line of scrimmage. You have Blake Martinez here, and you have Carter Coughlin and I think it's Cam Brown on the outside. So this is a very strange mesh here.
I think that's Tay Crowder.
Players.
I think that's Tay Crowder.
Tay Crowder, right? You're Tay Crowder.
Yeah, Carter Coughlin, Tay Crowder. They're playing the edge rushers here. I think this is their dime package with the one down lineman and the 2 edge rushers. So. Again, he's just moving all over the place.
Beautiful play by Isaac Yiadom, too, to cause a pass break up on DJ Moore. But you'll see. Carter Coughlin this entire game is basically just bull rushing right at the left tackle. He plays on both sides a lot.
You had it freeze frame for a second. You see he's got really good positioning with his hands there on the inside. That's usually, you could see how much smaller he is than that left tackle. You could see it right there. If he were a bigger guy and he had his hands right on the chest like that, he's going to win. Like that's the key. If you're able to get your hands inside and get it right on the offensive lineman's chest, that's when you're able to control them and move them yourself, because that's what their goal is to get their hands inside on your chest so they can move and control you. So Carter Coughlin, really, if he's a bigger guy here, he can just pull that shirt down and then get by. But, he's smaller. So
that's exactly
where
right.
You see some of his limitations.
Right,
But
exactly.
good technique.
He really is a speed rusher, and he does have good technique. The
Mhm.
one thing I love about him is his hands are so fast. So he always gets that inside leverage, really get in the chest plate of the offensive tackle. And you'll see he beats the right tackle a lot this game. But the left tackle for Seattle's a lot better because they had a third string right tackle who was actually a guard playing on that side. So, the matchup was better for Carter. The technique was much more improved when he was against the right tackle. But here, he's just bull rushing. Honestly, it looks more of a contain. He's not beating this pass rush by any means. So I think if they do flush him out, that Leonard Williams is getting bottled up here right in the middle by 3 guys. There's no way he's getting out of that. So this is really just coverage. You have to have good coverage here. Nazagata makes a phenomenal play.
Yeah, and that is interesting to take note of when the Giants are in their dime package. They just have the 3 interior guys, go in on Leonard Williams, who's the best defender on the field, and then the other guys are just one-on-one with the edge rushers, and that's probably the smart strategy. Leonard Williams really is the true threat on every play when the Giants are pass rushing.
That's absolutely right. So here he's in I think he's in the 3-eye technique.
Who, Leonard?
Yeah, Leonard. And you have Carter Coughlin right there.
Carter's on the edge again. He's playing the edge rusher position again. Tay Crowder is like really lined up far.
Way out there.
He's almost. Well, I think he might be in man coverage with the running back. That might be why.
Yep. Well, he's actually he's blitzing there. But here, and I like this. You'll see my man Xavier Mckinney. And what I liked about this is Xavier Mckinney, they're changing up the spies on every play. That was what made this game plan so phenomenal for Patrick Graham. The movement of the line of scrimmage, you have Carter Coughlin, he gets the inside, and Xavier McKinney, look at him. He's waiting here. He wants Russell. He's daring Russell, please, break outside because he's going to disengage from that guard. I think it actually might be the center. He's going to disengage, and he's going to just chase him down. That's his entire goal here. And I love that the Giants have faith in him already to be playing in the red zone against Seattle on the first drive of the game. And they have Xavier McKinney in there. So that's a very, very good sign for Xavier and what they think of him.
Yeah, if you just rewind this real quickly, I'll quickly point something out here. Brian pointed this out for us as well. If you look, everybody's just hovering around the line of scrimmage. You got Jabril Peppers there, you got Xavier McKinney there, and you got Blake Martinez there, and then Tay Crowder even. And you could even throw in Carter Coughlin since he was, he's going to spy a few times in this game. You don't know who the spy is here. You don't know who's pass rushing, and you don't know who's dropping back into coverage, and you don't know who's just going to stand there and wait for you as the quarterback. So that's just part of Patrick Graham's defense, just adding confusion pre-snap and making things a lot more difficult post-snap for Russell Wilson and the Seattle offense.
Right, and look at the levels here. Look at the levels, right? I'm trying to freeze it right there. So you look at the left side of the screen, you have Carter Coughlin and Jabril Peppers. There's 2 levels. Then you have Xavier, Blake Martinez, and Julian Love. There's 3 levels there. So Russell Wilson's looking, and he's like, where is the pressure coming from? He's looking at Jabril, and this is exactly what they want. They want him to be looking at Jabril Peppers, thinking Leonard Williams is going to flush those guys to the interior. He's going to flush across the middle to try and push the interior of the line, and Jabril Peppers is going to burst through that B gap. But here, they actually bluff that, and Jabril Peppers ends up covering the tight end. And just has phenomenal coverage on it. So it was really nice, really nicely orchestrated play. And I think Peppers played it to perfection, really.
Absolutely.
And here you have outside linebacker Carter Coughlin on the right side of the field.
I mean, look at this formation, though. You can't tell what's going on.
I know. I mean, even Brian, who's professional at this, was like, I don't even know, what is going on some of these plays. It takes a second to diagnose it.
Yeah, again, it's a one down lineman. You've got Blake Martinez, typically the inside linebacker on the edge. You got Carter Coughlin on the edge. You have Xavier McKinney getting down in the box. You have Tay Crowder lined up at the 2-eye tech. And then you have Jabril Peppers in the box as well. And even Julian Love isn't that far off. He's only 10 yards off of the line of scrimmage. So you're really stacking the box here, and just, I don't know, this is like confusing when you're a quarterback. What do you make of this with one down lineman, but so many guys just stacking the box? There's, it's just confusing. That's part of the beauty of the complex Patrick Graham defense.
Yep, and that's right. And you'll see Leonard Williams, he's in this 3-eye technique a lot. Really, it's kind of like right in the middle between that tackle and guard. And he's trying to flush those guys to the middle. He's trying to stunt. And right here, it's interesting because you see Tay Crowder, who actually picks up the sack here, collides with Leonard Williams. This is one that we saw with Brian as well. And that A gap just opens right up for him. And you see on the outside, I think it's Blake Martinez. He's trying to cover this up, right? He's trying to play contain.
He's playing the contain.
And he does it well.
Yeah.
It's a perfect play. And look at all these guys. Look at all these young guys around here.
Gives Russell nowhere to go. Yeah.
And look at all these young guys here. You got Tay Crowder, last pick in the draft. Carter Coughlin, another late round pick, and then you have Xavier Mckinney here. And you have Blake Martinez. There's 3 rookies around Russell Wilson, a Hall of Fame quarterback. Incredible. Mm-hmm. And that's thanks to Patrick Graham and the scheme he drew up to create pressure in this game.
For sure.
You have Carter Coughlin on the right side again.
Yeah, playing the edge.
And he's just playing some coverage. So he's just bluffing that blitz and dropping back.
Actually, I think he was playing outside linebacker there. It looked like the Giants switched into a 4-3 defense here. Yeah, they did. They're playing the 4-3. Yeah. Wow, they were usually playing the 3-4 earlier, and then they're playing some dime. But now they're with 4 down defensive linemen and 3 linebackers. So they switched to the 4-3 here. So, again, just showing a little bit more versatility from Carter Coughlin.
100%. Yep, and he's playing cover. You know, that's one of the things they liked about him. He has the speed, athleticism to actually drop into coverage, man up against these bigger tight ends that don't have elite speed. Like, you know, you don't want to match him up against Evan Ingram, of course, but a guy like Holstetter, you know, some bigger guys in the league who aren't that fast, you might be willing to say, Carter, like, we want you to drop in and man cover this guy in the flat.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see now he's switching over to the right side a lot. He's spending a lot of time on that right side. They got 2 tight ends. Another play where he's dropping into coverage, and you notice that they're throwing the ball to the opposite side of his alignment every single time. Like the past 3 plays, he's dropped into coverage, and every time they're throwing the opposite side.
Yeah. I mean, Seattle just really liked to throw the ball left in this game. I think like way more than half of their passes went to the left side. I don't know exactly why they were doing that. A lot of the times they had James Bradbury over there. I'm not sure what it was, but that was part of their game plan, was just to throw the ball to the left.
I think it's just comfortable. I think they were just like, Russell, like, you know, whatever you're comfortable with. I don't think they anticipated Giants defense to be this good. And they were like, you know, we're just going to, whatever you feel comfortable, you pick out the plays you want to do, you want to run, and you know, take authority with this offense. And I think that it worked really well because they were giving, you know, as we mentioned, a lot of these routes that he's throwing are underneath routes. They're flat routes to the tight ends and out routes because they were taking away the deep portion of the field with a lot of cover 3 and really just squeezing that boundary with the cornerbacks. You saw in the previous film review with Brian that James Bradbury and Isaac Yiadom did a phenomenal job squeezing those 9 routes to the boundary to take them away. And then you had the deep safety, whether it be Jabril or Julian Love primarily, back there just kind of scanning the field to see who was getting the advantage. Did DK have a better advantage, or did Tyler Lockett or Moore? Like, where do I need to be? So you saw a lot of that happening on the back end of these plays.
Yeah, and I'll just point out here they're playing the 3-4 defense, and Jabril Peppers is lined up as an inside linebacker. I think that's pretty interesting. We've been, you know, on our podcast and in all of our videos, we've been calling to see Jabril Peppers lined up at linebacker more, so it's exciting.
Yep. Okay, so this is the play that I really wanted to show because Jabril Peppers, when he got cracked by Chris Carlson before, he remembered that play, right? He remembered that play, and you know, he's a guy who uses these in-game miniature battles to his advantage. You know, he's like, I want this. And this is something he discussed with Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan told him, you know, when you're going to line up in the blitz, go all out. Don't fake it. Don't this, don't that. Commit to it. They're not expecting it, you know, because right here, they're thinking Jabril Peppers, who's been doing this all game, is lining up in the blitz, but he's actually not. He's going to drop back into coverage. So here, he's like, you know, I want this sack. He blows through the tight end. There's 2 blockers here. There is no excuse for Seattle to let him get through. This is a pure determination, aggressiveness, New Jersey attitude, pass rusher in this specific alignment. And you see him, he's bulldozing through 2 guys, knocks him on his ass. And what I want to mention here is, because this is a Carter Coughlin tape, look at the job Carter Coughlin does here. He does a phenomenal job. This is basically just a straight bull rush, 2-hand punch right to the inside, and he disengages. And with that athleticism, he uses that momentum, and he reroutes his attack essentially. And if Jabril Peppers doesn't get him and doesn't flush him out, I think Carter Coughlin gets him anyway. Because bam, he disengages. He's already after him. This play's done no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, it was a great pass rush move. Really, one thing that I noticed when I watched his college film was he liked to use that dip and rip, get around the edge,
Hmm.
dip down, and then rip that arm back and fight off the contact. And that's not exactly what he did here, but it's similar in the fact that he does rip there towards the end, and it's a
He
great pass
does.
rush move.
He does, yeah. He gets that, and that's what we talked about before. He always gets the inside leverage on the offensive tackles. His hand placement is
Yeah, I mean,
phenomenal. He's just not strong enough all the
yeah,
time.
you've got to pause. You've got to pause right there, and that's a perfect way. Like that's a perfect freeze frame because you're seeing he made initial contact and he has his hands right on the right tackle's chest. He controls the right tackle now. He determines his destiny. Now it's just there's going to be hand fighting. If he wins, he's getting by, and he does win. But his initial start to this play was perfect because he got his hands up first, and now he has the hand placement in the perfect spot to where he controls the right tackle, not the other way around.
That's right, and because you look at the right tackle, and first of all, he's leaning forward. His head is over his shins, and his
Yeah,
hands aren't even contacted with Carter Coughlin yet. He already lost this rep. Right now, his hand. Look at his hands. Not even
totally.
engaged on the outside right. If that tackle gets his right hand on the outside shoulder of Carter Coughlin, he's fine. But he completely misses, and basically he's done the second that happens. And Carter Coughlin's too fast to catch up. It's almost a hold because he has no choice but to hold him back. He's already grabbing him here,
Hmm.
and bam, down goes Russell Wilson. Thanks to Jabril Peppers, but I think Carter Coughlin could have even been contributed with half a sack here. He wasn't, but I could see how they could have graded it that way. And then again here, you see him moving around because here he's lining up. Let's see, he's lining up in the three-eye technique, right? So he's going from the opposite side on the left all the way to the right side, and the three-eye really just shading inside of the left tackle, and he's basically just stunting with Dexter Lawrence, and he ends up all the way on the other side of the line, and this is just they're trying to twist, turn, force Russell Wilson to figure out what the hell is going on. That's exactly what they're trying to do is just confuse him with these pass rush twists and stunts. We've seen it the Dallas do it to the Giants over the years, and we're seeing it work for the Giants now.
Totally.
Yep, nothing crazy. It looks a little contained on the edge. He's
Yeah,
using the
I
five
think that's all he
technique,
was
and this
doing,
is a good
stay on
one.
the
This
edge.
is a good rep for Carter. He bull rushes that left tackle who's had his number all game pretty much right into the face of Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that was a nice bull rush, and that's really the hand placement again. And that looked like a zero blitz there, so they brought the house and great
Yep,
hand placement. He got that. He got both of those hands right on the inside, right on the pecs of the offensive tackle, and then he had full control. Now it's time to just drive it back like it's like it's a tackling slide, like it's a drill in practice.
exactly. He's in the outside linebacker spot. He's just chasing. But I liked one thing about this play by Carter Coughlin, and that is when he has to reroute here because he sees this as a halfback draw. He goes right through the B gap. He doesn't go behind. He takes the quickest route and he slips right in there to get to the second level just in case his guys need help. So I liked I
Yeah, he's got
liked
good
just
vision.
that small, it's very, very minute and detailed, but it's something that helps because, let's say they miss a tackle, then Carter Coughlin has that angle to really help out and finish the play. And here he's in the outside linebacker spot again. And here he's pretty much just taken out of the play. There's too many bodies in front of him.
Yeah, I did like the hand fighting though. If you see he does a little cross chop there and smacks the tackle's hand down. That was pretty nice to
Yeah,
see.
give one more look.
The hand fighting is key because that's really when, yeah, you saw that how he's
Yep.
really chopping down those hands, not allowing that offensive tackle to really get a hold of him.
Yep. And you'll see all the way in the top, the left tackle spot for Seattle. He's shaded right outside his shoulder. I think he drops into
Yeah,
coverage here.
he's playing the edge 3-4
Playing the
defense.
flat. He's playing the flat for Chris Carson, I believe. And that's fine. That's good. That's exactly what they wanted him to do. And this is Carlos Hyde now. He's now he's at the right tackle spot. Usually his job is to try and get past that tight end. And now he's playing contain. And this is good. He does exactly what he needs to do here. He's just basically not letting Russell Wilson get outside, not letting him escape the pocket.
This is one of the dumbest throws I've ever seen a quarterback make.
Yeah,
I
this was
can't lie.
very
I thought
questionable.
that when I watched it. I don't. Yeah,
This is a
Russell Wilson
DJ
does
throw
this though
earlier in the year.
sometimes.
This
Yeah,
is bad, but
no, even
this
though
is Russell
this
Wilson
is
this
like
year. He's thrown
classic
10 interceptions.
Russell Wilson at his worst. Yeah,
Exactly.
this is.
He's
I
thrown
mean,
10 interceptions
he's done this
this
his
year,
whole career though. Yeah, when he's under pressure, sometimes he gets into the hero ball mode and he tries to make a play, and a lot of the times it works, But
Yep. And this
right here,
is
this
just a
should have been a
botched.
ball shared pick.
This is a botched running back screen.
Yeah.
They're trying to get out there, but look at that. Look at the Jabal shared though. That veteran savviness. That he sees the running back. Look at him. He's looking right at him. He says, "Oh, I know what's coming," and he gets right into his face.
Yeah, see,
and he almost actually intercepts this.
Yeah, what I want to point out here, if you rewind it real quick,
Yep.
When you have the offense roll out to one side of the field, right? Like they're going to do here, the entire offensive line shifts to the left, right? Because it's play action. They're all going left. What you want is that edge right here that Carter Coughlin's playing has to seal off the edge and has to contain here. That's, if the running back, if they do hand it off and the running back cuts back, you have to have the edge sealed off. Otherwise, he's going to have a huge cutback lane, right? But here, with Russell Wilson keeping it on the play action, Wilson has an opportunity to roll out to the right, but that edge is sealed off by Coughlin. He does an excellent job just staying home, not getting too excited, just playing his role and sealing off that edge, kind of being a QB contain, even though this was really he was doing a run fit here because this was a play action. So that's a really excellent job of run defense, actually, by Carter Coughlin on what ends up being a passing play.
Yep, and I like actually Blake Martinez here on the bottom right of your screen. You can see him looking right at the running back, and he sees this. He's already diagnosed what this is because he's the offensive lineman's coming out. Jabal shared the real hero here for actually sniffing this out from the beginning because Russell Wilson looks over and he's like, oh, crap. There's no way this is going anywhere. So he makes a terrible decision. He should have thrown it away, but I think it would have been intentional grounding. They ended up losing a couple yards anyway.
Yeah, he was in man coverage there with the running back, so he just did a good job staying patient, locking that down.
Exactly. And here we have a 3-eye technique again for Carter Coughlin, who's going all over the line. And this is basically just a fake stunt. He's bluffing this entire stunt here, and then dropping back a little bit into coverage to spy. But basically, he's there and he's actually dropping into pretty decent coverage here, which is cool to see from an outside linebacker.
Yeah, he should have gotten more to the flat, but Russell Wilson started to rush up the middle, so he was, focused on that, which is fair. You can want to focus on Russell Wilson, but I think he was supposed to play the flat here. I do like the bluff blitz because that's something that the Giants did a lot in this game, and it really kept Seattle's offensive line on its toes. We're going to see it later on how Carter Coughlin's bluff blitz sets up a sack for Leonard Williams.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you will see that later on. And look right here. Look at Logan Ryan, number 23. Look what this bluffed blitz does, or this bluff stunt does for Logan Ryan. So they think on the 3-eye technique over here, Carter Coughlin, he's coming around, right? He's following Dexter Lawrence around there. But look at Logan Ryan, because that guard has no idea that Logan Ryan is actually safety blitzing here, and he comes right around that edge. And by the time the guard realizes that Carter Coughlin is actually dropping back into coverage and actually taking the spot that Logan Ryan would have been holding, he's already gone. He's already by him into that gap. So really nice job confusing the offensive line. And they confuse Russell Wilson a lot, but the offensive line are running in circles. Look how many guys, are chasing after people. So it's pretty good to see, how well that they accomplished their goal of really getting into the backfield. And Tyler Lockett just drops the pass. Yep, and this is the one that I saw.
Too far anyway.
He wouldn't have. You're right. And this is one that I saw that I asked Brian about actually, and I was asking him, is it considered a 0 technique, 1 technique if there is an outside linebacker, any player really standing up, right? So usually people refer to the technique 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 technique as a down lineman. That's what they would be doing as a down lineman. But he actually confirmed that you can be standing up and considered a technique because the center here sees that man as a threat. So he's basically lined up in the 0 technique right over the nose. And it's really interesting to see the Giants do this because you don't see very often an outside linebacker lining up in 0 technique. And they have Cam Brown on the left side. They have some 2 down linemen here. And they have Leonard Williams all the way outside, almost in the 5. It's a really nice job. And he's spying. Look at Carter Coughlin spying here. He's waiting. He's waiting for him to roll out. The second Russell Wilson rolls out to that right side or goes up the middle, he's all over it. Yep, bam. He's ready to get it. Seattle dropped a lot of passes now that I think about it.
They did drop quite a few passes in this game. Russell Wilson's playmakers didn't help him out too much.
Mm-hmm. And here's a play that, is the reason why I like Ryan Connolly a lot, actually. This is one where you see Carter Coughlin outside, playing outside linebacker on the left side. And he's watching, he's saying, what is going on here? I would like to see him do is the second he sees this ball out of the hand, he runs into the backfield, right? You would like to see him get through there faster, but he is not looking at that blocker who's DK Metcalf, about to blindside him essentially. I'd like to see him getting going upfield parallel, just going vertical upfield.
Well,
but he drifts. But I think he's trying to contain at the same time, so you can make that argument too.
Yeah, the problem is if Chris Carson cuts this thing inside, he has to be prepared for that. I think he's playing this well. I just think DK Metcalf puts on an excellent, really good block here. That was really well timed. And, DK Metcalf is the size of a tight end. I think it's more give credit to DK here than it is to, take points away from Carter Coughlin. I think he did the best that he could.
Agree with that.
But, that is something that we did see with Ryan Connolly, though. He would just shoot the gaps like that. He would just shoot a gap as soon as he saw it. But, that can always come back to bite you sometimes. That's not always –
and it did.
You don't always want to be so overly aggressive. Carter Coughlin, I think he does a decent job here. I think DK Metcalf is just, a freak.
That he is. And we've had the argument of his stiff arm many times on Twitter the last couple of days.
Ridiculous.
And here you have Carter Coughlin on the right side again.
What a nice
This is just a great play by Bradbury.
Brown.
Yeah. And you have Carter Coughlin playing on that too, kind of inside technique again on the left tackle there, but he's really on the outside shade of the left guard.
They're doing a double A gap kind of configuration there.
Interesting. You know what it is? You know what they did? I think the Giants anticipated this to be a running back screen, because look at all of them go outside. Look at they all drop. The whole offensive line drops. This is actually just a bubble screen to lock it. But they thought it might be a running back screen to the left side with the offensive line pulling. Well, this is a great play. That Seattle does this a lot. They love to get their receivers in space and give them room to run because, like you mentioned, DK Metcalf.
I think that was an RPO.
You think so?
I think that might have been an RPO. If you can just rewind it real quick. I think what's happening here is Russell Wilson has the run pass option. I think the offensive line is going that way because they have to, in case he does hand it off. But I think he saw something pre-snap that showed him he just wants to get this ball out to the right side. So he doesn't even fake the handoff. He just already knows. But I think that was a run pass option.
Yeah, I agree. And after looking at it a second time, looking at the running back, he doesn't go very far. So I would concur with you. And a nice Bradbury just makes a phenomenal play here. This is all technique, by the way. Bradbury, if you ever watch him play, make tackles, he misses a crap ton of tackles, but it's mainly because he's going for the fumble all the time. He did it against Metcalf. He's had a couple fumble this season, and bam, he's going. This is all technique, reaching back those long, lanky arms. He is trying to get the ball loose.
He is definitely lanky.
He's a very nice sized cornerback. I like his frame a lot.
6'1", right?
Yep. And Carter Coughlin just playing contain on the edge. I like his first stab here, Coughlin, but the right tackle has
almost looked like I got to see that again. Almost looked like hands to the face.
It does. I think it might have been too. It was so.
It's definitely hands to the face. No, that's a face mask for sure. You can see that's definitely there. Hands to the face by the right tackle. I don't know. Did this get called? I don't think it did.
No, it didn't. But
his hand is right on his face mask. Look at that.
Yeah, that should have been called. And this is again a good inside leverage for Carter Coughlin, getting his hands inside. He always wins those. I mean, this is a penalty.
Look at that right tackle's footwork. Just look at him.
It's terrible. He's twisted.
He's a right guard. I want to cut him some slack because he was a third stringer. He went out there and did the best that he could. But yeah, that's a really poor job by the right tackle there, and that's obviously a penalty
Yeah.
that they miss.
I mean, Carter Coughlin wins this rep. He gets the penalty on him. They just didn't call it.
I think so.
Um,
Because I think right here where you have it frozen, this is where he would have used that rip. He would have, clubbed down with his right arm and got that tackle's right arm off of him and then gotten around the edge. But he couldn't because, his face was being pulled the other way. So he really lost his momentum there.
Yep. And here's the big play. Because look at right here. Look at Bradbury. He has his hand on the ball. He wants to get this ball loose. He always does. And then he ends up tackling him, man. Like, the stiff arm's pretty. It's a nice play, for the fans.
Gave him an extra
but on
yard.
film,
It was
but on
a yard.
film, exactly on film, because he realizes, look at all the blue around him. There's only way he's going is through Bradbury, and Bradbury does a great job bringing down one of the most physical, one of the largest and strongest wide receivers in the game. He basically is like, I want the football, and you're going nowhere. I'm going to bring you down after. So he just basically latches onto that hand, and he brings him down. Like, look, for the fans, and I get how that could be a hype play for the sideline, but on film, you watch it over and you're saying, okay, Bradbury limited him to about 50 yards on the day, and basically all he had to give was out routes because there was no way DK was beating him deep, and he basically was just trail routing him the entire time, trail techniquing him the entire time, as Brian mentioned in the other video. So I see nothing wrong with that.
I get why that was an exciting play, but in my opinion, it was a really good tackle.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it when it happened. I was like, "Oh, that was a nice stiff arm." But at the end of the day, like, didn't get any yards out of it. It was not like it's
gained an extra yard and he
play.
almost fumbled the ball. And I'm not going to celebrate that he almost fumbled the ball because that's ridiculous. But it was just a good tackle. I think that could have been a lot more had Bradbury not pulled him down while getting stiff arms. See right there, if you go back, that was actually. Because I want to show the difference between, one of the pass rushes that we showed earlier versus this one. Because this is Dwayne Brown, who's an excellent left tackle. You're going to see he gets his hands up quickly, and he's actually the one who engages the contact, which is really the key here. Because we saw Coughlin engage earlier. He was the first guy to get his hands on the other guy, and it helped him get by. But here, Dwayne Brown, he's actually a really good offensive tackle, so he's able to engage first contact.
Mm-hmm. And that's something we noticed all game. Carter Coughlin did a way better job against the backup third string right tackle than he did against Dwayne Brown at left tackle. So that was obvious that was going to happen, but you notice these things, previously, we saw his hands. He had his hands inside and the right tackle, like basically off his feet, leaning forward with his hands not even engaged yet. But then you see Dwayne Brown, he has him pretty much bottled up the second he gets his hands inside.
Yeah, here they're in the 4-3 defense again. Carter Coughlin playing outside linebacker.
Look at the speed, though. Look at that speed. Yeah,
look
at this man.
That was one of his best
arms.
Traits. His burst off the line of scrimmage is probably his best trait. He just gets out of his stance really quickly.
Oh yeah, and look at this. He's swinging his arms like pendulums. He's like, I want this sack. I want this sack. And all turns into an interception instead. So pretty awesome here. And you always like to see these guys running. You always like to see Carter Coughlin running after the ball, even after it's thrown.
Yeah, he's a 7th round pick. He should be hustling. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that looked like a spy again. Could have been that he was waiting to do a stunt off the edge, but the ball came out too quickly.
A lot of these stunts are actually spies. See here, this is a spy.
Yeah.
And look at the speed again. This actually ended up being a 1-yard gain, believe it or not. But this is Carter Coughlin, man.
Look at where you you moved it. You paused it, and he was like planking on top of Russell Wilson. It looked funny.
Oh, I'll pause it again right there. Don't worry. Let's see if I can get it.
Yeah, no, that is a great job on the spy.
Right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
This is great speed. That's the 4.5 speed I believe he has. Watch it one more time right here, just for giggles. But he's in the outside linebacker spot. This is basically just another stunt, bam, and then he's hovering. He's hovering in the middle. He sees that guard there. He's like, I'm not going to get past him. I'm not going to get past that big body. But the most I can do, and this is he has his hands wrapped around him here. He just disengages and he says, you know what? I'm going to use my speed. And look at these pendulums. He's flying. Bam, buries Russell Wilson. Those are the type of hits that you get up from as a quarterback, especially an undersized quarterback. You get up from and you're like, man, that doesn't feel so good.
Totally.
And again, you have him now. He's shaded in the one technique. So he's shaded to the inside right of the center. He ends up actually almost in the 2-eye technique on the inside of the right guard. Another stunt, all the way to the other side, contain, spy, bam, and he lays a hell of a hit on. This is 2 back-to-back plays, by the way. He played a lot in the second half, and these are 2 back-to-back plays. Look at the hit he lands, and this is a good series for Carter Coughlin because he got some nice hits on a Hall of Fame quarterback, and he's coming around this edge right here as the spy. He wants to contain him from rolling out to that left side, and Russell Wilson's he sees DK, and look at that, and Brian mentions this. Look at all the passing lanes they have covered up here. And Russell's a smaller quarterback, so he needs those passing lanes. He needs to be able to see the field. He can't see anything right here. This ends up being a gorgeous throw because, he is a Hall of Fame quarterback and he can make these. But he takes a licking right here, off balance. And this is form tackling, as Brian mentioned as well. You can't have a better form when tackling a guy, especially a quarterback's shoulder. And look at this. Look at the umpire, referee, top right of the screen. He's making sure that this is legal, and it is. Another spy. And Williams goes down with him.
Yeah,
outside linebacker again. There. Yep. Another stunt. Another nice little spy. I think him and Trey Crowder are spying right here. This actually.
No, Crowder's in man coverage on the running back.
Oh, he is? Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, the offensive line actually picks up this stunt really well. Got to give him.
Yeah, that interior, man, gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, they picked up some of it. The pressure's still out there.
The pressure still. The whole point is like they just want to collapse the pocket and flush him out. You know, even if they pick it up, they just want to collapse the pocket at the very least. And this is another spy from Carter. This is just a gorgeous throw on the run, baseball throw.
Yeah, that throw was nuts. We got to give him credit. That throw was crazy.
Yep. And Carter has this. Carter plays this perfectly. This is just a secondary making a mistake. And I think Jabril Peppers just shades a little bit inside too much. On the back end, but James Bradbury also in zone coverage here. That
was Peppers' zone. That was on Peppers. He just got locked in on Metcalf. They made it a point of emphasis to keep the ball out of Metcalf's hands, so he tried to go double team him, and he just left his zone a little too open.
That's exactly right. And Chris Carson gets open here because they did not expect this. And this is just great. I mean, great rep for the left tackle against Carter Coughlin. He tries the bull rush here. He doesn't get much. He doesn't get much at all. That was a win for the left tackle. Another spy again. See Carter Coughlin, and this is what I said before. If you remember before the video, I specifically said Carter Coughlin is really meant in this game to contain Russell Wilson. He is the perfect situational pass rusher against mobile quarterbacks because he has the speed to contain and spy and really get to those sides really quickly. He can, sideline to sideline speed at the line of scrimmage, and that's what his purpose is in this game. And I expect to see plenty of him against Kyler Murray in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, he really just played the QB spy pretty much all game, but he played it really well. Like I said, he had he has that speed where, he can keep Russell Wilson from completely torching the defense. And, he had a job and he did his job. And that's the key.
Yep. The left tackle really had his name. And you notice they really didn't want to use him there.
Dude, nice hit by Peppers there. Damn.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna rewind that, but you'll notice that they probably didn't want to use Carter Coughlin against Dwayne Brown all that much, which is why we saw him moving around throughout the game, because he pretty much loses a majority of the reps against Dwayne Brown, and he gets bottled up again here, pretty much just nailed. But it looks like
most pass rushers do. Most pass rushers do. Dwayne Brown is a really good offensive tackle. I think it's just they're just trying to move him around and keep the offense guessing. Like, now Jabal Sheard has an easier matchup, which is why the running back is over there to probably help.
Chad Wheeler's in now.
Yeah, so they were just moving them all around.
Yeah, I mean Chad Wheeler.
Chad Wheeler was better than Eric Flowers. That much I'm aware of.
That's true. And Tyler Lockett got his chops licked this game. Nice hit. And again, you see Carter Coughlin in the zero technique.
Yeah, this is a play I really want to talk about. This play you're going to see is broken down a lot more in depth on the Leonard Williams film breakdown that's going to be coming out on Film Friday. So Carter Coughlin is playing that zero tech. And what he's going to do here is he's going to rush, and he's not really rushing. He's bluffing the blitz, of course. And he's going to run up, and he's going to bull rush that center just for a second and then disengage and walk back. And what happens there is that center is keyed in blocking Carter Coughlin, assuming that he's blitzing, because he literally did blitz for like 2 seconds, not even. So the center is there trying to block Carter Coughlin, and what that does, he totally misses this stunt coming. He's supposed to help this offensive guard and double team Leonard Williams here, and that's how they're supposed to pick up this stunt. But he's completely out of position because of what Carter Coughlin did here. That Carter Coughlin really gives Leonard Williams a sack. Carter Coughlin earns a sack for Leonard Williams. It's schemed together through this play call. Well, Dalvin's running the stunt.
He takes out 2 bodies.
Yeah, but it's Leonard Williams coming on this inside move, and there's a huge gap there that the center is supposed to be filling, and the center isn't because Carter Coughlin just tricked him. And that's really the beauty of this play is Carter Coughlin really he should get some credit for the sack. Obviously that's not how the stats work, but he should get some credit for it because he really sets it up for Leonard Williams and gives him a pretty easy run after Russell Wilson.
This is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. I don't know how else to
high
describe
IQ football.
High IQ football. Look at this. Anytime you have the best, if not one of the top 3 best interior defensive tackles in the game, running through the A gap with nobody there, you've out schemed somebody. Okay, this is an exemplary play by the Giants here. You out scheme them tenfold, and this is the end of the game, mind you. This is I think this is the second to last play of the game for Seattle. When you have a guy like Leonard Williams running through the A gap untouched, you've won this game schematically.
Totally.
Gorgeous. And here again, you have Carter Coughlin basically in the I think this is just the one technique here. Dropping back, spying, get out. And this is just a Hail Mary, good coverage, bat it down, just a little ball drill, bam. That's it. That's the whole game worth of Carter Coughlin film. I'm just going to run it back while we talk about this for a second. But honestly, very impressed by Carter Coughlin really containing and spying on Russell Wilson the entire second half and a lot of the first half too. But I expect to see a lot of the same against Kyler Murray. You want those speed guys. You want those speed pass rushers to do exactly this. I don't think guys like Chase Young, even those big pass rushers, this is not their job. Their job is to get after the quarterback, not spy, as we saw Carter Coughlin do. They probably can do it really well, but you don't want them to be acting in that role primarily. You want the faster. You see Xavier McKinney right there. You saw Tay Crowder do it. You saw Logan Ryan do it. You saw Carter Coughlin do it. Cam Brown did it a few times. I mean, what more can you say than Patrick Graham drew up the perfect game plan?
He absolutely did. And really what it is with Carter Coughlin, or, you mentioned like Chase Young, what you want him doing is obviously rushing the passer off the edge every single play. You just want him to get after the quarterback pretty much. Eventually you'll drop him back in coverage or maybe have him play a spy just, to keep the offense guessing and keep him honest. But yeah, you want him pass rushing. But with Carter Coughlin, since he is the size of an inside linebacker, he plays that inside linebacker position. He plays that edge rusher position, and he just moves all over the defense and plays that QB spy, that QB contain, and even rushes the passer. He's just very versatile, very unique. And that's why I think that, he reminds me of Kyle Van Noy, and he fits that role in this Belichickian defensive system.
Yep, that's exactly right. I hope you guys enjoyed this little narration and breakdown of Carter Coughlin, taking a look at all the snaps. I know a lot of people wanted to see, what he did, and he actually played a lot bigger of a role than you notice at first glance when you're watching the game. So I'm happy that we were able to check this out and see, how they utilized a late round draft pick to really cause havoc against one of the best quarterbacks this game has ever seen. Think about that. Think about what this coaching staff did to maximize the value of a guy who Russell Wilson's never seen before. Most people have never seen before. And we certainly didn't expect this much value from at this point in his career, especially with all these injuries. Lorenzo Carter, O'Shane Ximines, Kyler Fackrell's even out. What they've done, at that outside linebacker position with Brett Bielema and really coaching these guys up to be able to perform at a level like this is impressive. It's fantastic. And I think that we should expect to see more of this. And, something that the Giants have really struggled with is consistency in recent years. They haven't been able to put together consecutive, really great performances. And we've seen 4 very good performances the past couple of weeks. And I think this is going to continue defensively. I don't think this team lacks the discipline to fold and give up a bad performance.
Yeah, man. We've said it 1,000 times, utmost confidence in our boys, Joe Judge, Patrick Graham, and this whole coaching staff, utmost confidence. Very excited to see, especially going into Arizona, taking one game at a time, but excited to see how they finish out the season. I think it's going to be different than, the past few seasons that we've had. I'm very confident in these guys and really excited about the future that we have laid out. Thanks to Joe Judge and this awesome coaching staff.
Yep, that's 100% right. And I hope you guys enjoyed this Carter Coughlin video, and we will catch you guys on the next one.